two worlds colliding. Because as you alluded to, I started off life very much as a Euro brat, is how I think I'll refer to. I grew up in the European Union. The very first flag I could ever draw was that, and I remember it very vividly. I would go into my dad's office, who wasn't an ambassador at the time, he was just a lowly economic advisor in Ethiopia, and I would raid his cupboards for t-shirts and flags and pens and watches and whatever else. So I was dyed in the wool before I got here. And is it any wonder I ended up as a but very seriously, it is a genuine honour and privilege to be here, and thank you so much for hosting this auspicious reception, and you know, Your Excellencies, thank you for coming, and also thank you to those party members who are here, Baroness Ludford, who speaks for these issues so eloquently in the Lords. We've got Lord Purvis at the back, who is a close colleague and my opposite number, also in the Lords. We've got members of the Foreign International Relations Committee, we've got our leader in Scotland, and I think what that shows us, and you know, I think Richard, our defence spokesperson, is here, I saw Jamie, who's our culture secretary, that we've got it, we are here because we want to rebuild this relationship. We obviously don't want to be looking backwards, we want to be looking forwards, and I hope that all of you who have been at this conference have seen the zealousness and passion of Liberal Democrat members to make our ambition to be at the heart of Europe again a reality. And that is very much party's policy, by the way. We want to go all the way back. We are also pragmatists. I should add before I get into and recognise, but I think it's fair to recognise, whilst, and I also genuinely welcome the change in tone since the kerfuffle or the Northern Ireland Protocol, if you want to put it that way. But actually, I think it's also worth reflecting on what happened there, bearing in mind that, yes, Hunt and Rishi Sunak are now at the top of that particular sclerotic tree, but the rest of the roots, I think, are rotten to the core. It is a party that is not going to deliver on what we want to see. It is a party that has lost its control over the economy, and in my view, it's a party that frankly just needs to go. But we need a complete reset of the relationship, which includes a complete change of government, ideally as soon as possible. So in the next Parliament, which is what we're all looking to, this is our first conference, obviously, since the last election, and quite potentially the last conference before the next election. So I think it is very fair to look towards what we might do to push whatever may happen, whatever influence we may have, and of course it would be remiss of me to add, the more MPs we have, the more influence we have, but how many MPs we are, our idea is to push whoever is in power towards a deepening relationship. And so a couple of years ago now, we set out our policy on how we would do that. We would start, of course, by renewing those ties of friendship. And I have to say, as an Oxford MP, when I heard that we were finally signing on the dotted line for Horizon, it was a palpable sigh of relief. Oxford had, I think in the last programme, accrued something like £560 million worth of research funding, much of it led from our colleges. It was researchers based in Britain, although we are proudly multicultural as a university. It was money that was sort of here, it was then being used to spin out, it was creating jobs, it was driving innovation, it was driving people to us. In the last 2 years, with the uncertainty over Horizon, Oxford has had 2 million of research funding. That is a huge drop and represents, I think, in turn, how that relationship with other researchers, that ecosystem has diminished. I mention Horizon because it's close to my heart, but you could replicate what's happened there with all sorts of other industries, all sorts of other businesses, from farmers to fishermen to the creative industries to the pubs. My local pub has closed because of the deal that has been struck, and the owner, when he closed, specifically said that that's why he did it. He then went to France, and now he's decided to stay there. We need to get to a point where our businesses are allowed to thrive again. So what we want to do is renew those ties of friendship. Touring is not working. We need the reciprocal arrangements. The problem with touring is we're going to send them there, we're going to give them funding. But actually, what I'm hearing from young people who are engaging with touring is what it's missing is that community of young people that was created when we were part of Erasmus is no longer there. They want to have that back, and we want to rejoin Erasmus+. And then there are deeper things we can do, various agencies and so on. The prize in the medium term is certainly the veterinary agreement, and that is the thing that's going to untangle small businesses from red tape. And we hear time and time again that's what they want. Then, when we are at a point where we have stable relationship, we would then seek to join the single market, because that is what businesses are telling us they need. That's the kind of certainty that they want. And as I said, we would go from there. There is no limit to ambitions for the Liberal Democrats, unlike other parties who have put a brake on those ambitions. And so whilst I also welcome that Keir Starmer has been making positive noises in this direction, I would also point out that he's basically saying to the EU, I like you, but only so much. Not us. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for fostering this relationship. Please have lots of discussions, and please let's renew those ties of friendship on a person-to-person level, because isn't it wonderful that we can? But in us, you have a true friend, and we are European. We will never not be European, and it's part of my family, and it's part of all of our family. So thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
God is on our side. While the voice of nature thunders over the rising tide, God gave the land to the people. The land, 'twas God who made the land. The ground on which we stand. Why should we be beggars with the ballot in our hand? God made the land for the people. The sun is spreading from the east and from the west. Why should we work hard and let the landlords take the best? Make them pay their taxes on the land just like the rest. The land was made for the people. The land was God who made the land. The ground on which we stand. Why should we be beggars with the ballot in our hands? God made the land for the people. Clear the way for liberty, the land must all be free. Liberals will not falter from the fight, though stern it be. Till the flag we love so well will fly from sea to sea. For the land was free for the people. The land was God who made the land. The ground on which we stand. Why should we be beggars with the ballot in our hands? God made the land for the people. The army now is marching on the battle to begin. The standard now is raised on high to face the battle din. We'll never cease from fighting till the victory